Hey, welcome back to Advice with Prince.
So then I ended up getting a booking working for, not working for, but it was a magazine called BX25, which was based out of Greensboro, North Carolina. So that was my first cover model magazine. And they was trying to make it a double cover magazine with, I think, Erica's actually right here. So my model alias is Alexandria Kingston. Most
Okay.
people, most people call me Kingston. It was Erica Marie from Bad Girls Club. They tried to make it a double cover. I said, no, I'm very firm. I said, no, that's not what we're doing. I said, it's either I come out next month, she come out next month, or I said, I'm not doing it. That's not what we agreed to. So this is in Greensboro, North Carolina. I didn't have to fly there or anything. What happened is I worked with my photographer here, and we sent all the photos over to him. His name was Ronaldo Creative, and so this is me on the cover. This is around the time, so I've been modeling since like 2012, and this was when I was working for Playboy. So he went with the Playboy thing.
So 8 years. All right.
So, um, yeah, that was that, and then after that, everything kind of came naturally with the like hosting and promoting. I did like trunk shows. Trunk shows are basically when you're like modeling in the mall for like Lord and Taylor. I did one for, I need to stop saying so this was another.
Okay. Interesting.
And yeah, it was also here too. So this is when things were really getting like, okay, I was getting a lot of emails and everything like, hey, we want you to come here and fly here. So that's when I felt like I had two close friends. I'm still friends with them to this day. So I'm like, okay, I now this is the time where I need to find management, where I need to have like two guys, because especially being a woman, you want to have somebody who's like making sure these are not scams or
Yeah.
we fly out
Yeah.
with you. But that was around the time when I realized like, okay, I'm done with the modeling, because when you try to model in Michigan, it's hard. Michigan is not a modeling state. It's more like California, New York, Miami, Chicago.
Mhm.
So I wasn't like progressing here. Like I was doing good, but I didn't want to be local. I wanted more. So that's when I just said, okay, I just said forget it then. Not at this time, but so just a little bit after I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna. I was over. So that was from 2012. So maybe I'll say to like 2015. That's when I just stopped modeling.
Mhm.
I really don't know the exact time. And then I was like, okay. So before that, 2014, I was in a movie that is on Netflix now. At first,
Um, so
yeah,
what's the name of, of that film? So
it is
people get.
called. It is a sequel, and it's a sci-fi film. The first part of the movie is called Monsters. It's a sci-fi film. The sequel was what I played in. It was called Monsters Dark Continent. It is now still on Netflix. It was on Netflix at first, but they took it off, and it's by Vertical Films, which is based in the UK. And this part, it took place in Jordan, the country, and the first part of the movie took place in Southwest Detroit. I also got that job myself because I submitted my casting to a Ryan Hills casting. I don't know if he's still around or whatnot. And literally the same day, I got like an email back saying, "Hey, you got the job. We're going to start filming this time." And when I tell you, I see why these actresses and actors get paid so much. I only my scene it was a paid role, and I'm actually on, what is the website, IMDb.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. So I have credits and everything, so it was a real role, and I got paid for it. For a 10-minute scene, I was on set for like
The whole thing.
Yes, it's very hard work and like dedication, but it's a great experience. It was a very great experience. So now I can use all of this, and I have a modeling resume, and I can use this. And these are things that when I say I'm self-made, I taught myself how to market or network or brand because I was able to reach out to these people, and I knew how to conduct an email and speak to someone and say, hey, even when I have my collaborations now, it's not people just always reaching out to me. Sometimes I reach out to other people and say, hey, I want to work with this company. I've been shot down plenty of times and reach out to somebody and then I'm like, oh wait, wow, they finally want to work with me. Um, I got the opportunity to work with Amber Rose right before New Year. That was in December.
Okay.
Eli. And so most of my following are when I was bald, for example, are people who have mental illnesses,
Mm-hmm.
cancer patients, alopecia patients, models, athletes, musicians, a little bit of everyone. And when I do collaborations and when I tell people, people think like, oh, you have this many followers and likes. I don't care about followers and likes. It's not about that. It's about the engagement.
Mm-hmm.
It's about who you can, and I've met people and built relationships with people I've never met in my entire life who I can have a conversation with every day. I have, um, aside from Grind's Eye View, I don't know if I'm going to use his real name. Um, also,
Okay.
also have um, my best friend who I met through the internet, and everyone know her as Denver. And we met on certain terms for a certain reason, and I'm not going to name that out of discretion. Yeah. So, but everyone know her as Denver, and that's how we met through my Instagram. Because there are a lot of people who, because I'm so open, I guess it made them feel comfortable when people have reached out to me
Yeah.
because, yeah, certain things that my transparency basically. Some people are not open. They feel like they're going to be judged about certain things. And if you're going to be judged, okay, if I feel like I'm going to be judged or, oh, this and that, or sometimes I take it, sometimes I think, oh, maybe I don't want to post this and that. Okay, like my last recent post was me doing my ballet stretches, which I took ballet 3 years ago and I did that recreational. Also, I took that too. A lot of people don't know. I was going through a very depressive suicidal stage. I gained a lot of weight and when I say a lot, okay, like I'm 114 pounds now, but I went up to like 145 or 160. So I took it up as recreational. Um, the person I was supposed to take like a group class, but it ended up being a private class because a lot of adults was not there for the
Mm-hmm.
they was there for the hip hop classes. Well, I didn't need hip hop classes because I grew up in Detroit, so that comes natural for us. And I'm not saying, so basically it came as private classes, and I didn't. It wasn't perfected, so now I've been talking about ballet for the longest, and some people's like, "Oh, you never did ballet, this and that." So when I just popped out with my shoes the other day and doing stretches, and ballet is very hard to perfect. Standing on their toes and having to stretch and having to do this, that, and the third. And but when I compared boxing, I did just start. But when you naturally know how to street fight, it doesn't mean like I do want to go pro or whatnot. But I started thinking like, well, maybe I should try like Muay Thai boxing or do MMA because you're allowed to use like all 8 limbs. Now, if you do kicking and stuff, like what Floyd Mayweather and stuff do, that's called dirty boxing because you can't do that then.
Okay.
So, people see like my punching bag that's over there. I wanted to have a sparring partner, but it's hard to find a sparring partner. It's even hard for me to find people to take pictures, yet alone for half my Instagram posts. So people just started learning that. It was like, oh, take your pictures. I said, when I do take my pictures, I do tag the person, give them credit, but or I'll say, oh my god, mom took them or whatnot. But half of the time, I have to take these pictures myself and do what I have to do and get my collaborations done and post it. I can't, and I have to, like, when I get a new phone or a upgrade or whatever, I have to make sure I have a certain type of phone with a certain camera. And we went through this, like, okay, and let me make sure this is certain quality or whatnot, because people look for this, and as we also, influencers are also called like content creators. Same thing. We're all in the same category. Like YouTube, people say I should do that, and people ask me to vlog for the long. I said if I vlog, I'm gonna put it on Instagram TV. YouTube, I have no patience for that. All that editing. So like videographers and stuff, I give them credit, because there's no way I'm about to sit there and edit, and then it takes 30 years for just to upload. So so there are YouTubers and stuff who make like 6 figures, and I'm like, that's nice and all, but I can't do that. You gotta have certain ring lights, you gotta be at the angle, you gotta do. That's a lot. It is, and there are people. And I think the highest paid influencers, or just even alone on Instagram, I know it's Kylie Jenner, and I forgot who the other person is, but they get paid like almost $1 million a post.
Per post?
Yes. So there's micro influencers, macro influencers, and I think it's like every per 100,000 influencers, followers you have, you're supposed to get paid a certain tier. But nowadays, okay, so a lot of people don't know that Instagram has changed. They make it where now they control who sees your post. Because I've like the algorithm, correction, I'm probably not saying it right. They've changed it to where they want the businesses to pay for ads instead of paying the influencers. So they've controlled it to where, we're gonna make it where certain people can't see your posts. Because remember, for a while they were saying, we're gonna take the likes away, because they said it had to do with bullying and everything. And I'm like, what?
Oh, that made no sense.
I said, what is because some people are so like, oh my God, I only got this many likes, this person has this many likes. I said, likes and your followers have nothing to do with it. I said, I think, was it Shopify? Shopify, for example, was one of the first pages, I believe, to get verified, and they only had 500 followers. People think, because I don't have a blue check mark, or say I deserve to have this check mark or whatnot. Excuse me, I hope we can cut this out. So I'm like, okay, well, this is not, it's not about the following. It's about, okay, for example, people used to make excuses and be funny and say, well, people used to make excuses and be funny and say, well, okay, back then, everything has a new trend. First, it used to be Moco Space, MySpace, Black Planet. Everything's trend now. Twitter used to be a thing. I have Twitter. I barely get on there. Everything. Instagram. Everything is Instagram and Facebook. So it's like, okay, well, and I know I'm on my phone, guys, but I'm literally checking packages and deliveries and everything. So I do, this is a part of what we're talking about. So I apologize for that. But
part of your day, like,
right. I would never be. Listen, I'm literally like tracking my followers, my delivery, and it's like, okay, how do you end up on where I was, and now you're back a mile up? As long as listen, you guys probably see packages coming here, but
So, question. So somebody that wants to be like you, what will you tell that person? Like, okay.
As far as what? Be more specific.
Trying to like build their platform and engage with different companies and to wait. Let me go back because I got confused. Wait one second. So let me add it again. So what So what's your advice for like upcoming influencers that want to be on?
For somebody who wants to be an entrepreneur, period, because an entrepreneur can be anything.
Oh yeah, yeah. So like movies, you know, dancing, brand endorsement, Playboy, all those types, all those types of brands that you've been involved with. How what would you tell somebody who wants to follow those footsteps?
I would tell first off, because we are in a time now where um we are in a fast paced generation. Time everything changes and evolves. Back in the day, it used to be where, oh, take my business card. People still do have business cards, but most people rip them up. It used to be, oh, look at somebody up in a phone book. Everything is on the internet. What I would tell someone and what I would tell my younger self back then, do not compare yourself or do your following to someone else's. Do not copy someone else. Do not do that. Do not copy or steal someone else's style. You can learn from someone else, because there's been times I've asked someone, because I also do fashion styling. Like I said too, and I brought up H&M, but I built my own website and I stopped doing that. I know how to make contracts. I know how to build websites. I would just say I'm multifaceted. Like I know how to do a lot. I'm not saying I learn new things every day. If I don't understand something, I ask a question. If someone feel like, hey, um, never be afraid to ask questions. Never be afraid to go to the library to go look up something you don't know. Never be afraid to go look at somebody else's page or layout to see, okay, hey, I can do this or whatnot. Keep your profile and your layout clean. Um, don't always don't follow more people than more followers than you have, if that makes sense.
Mm, okay.
Yeah. But don't be and interact with your followers. Don't be snooty when you start getting to a don't forget where you came from. Me, always say thank you. That's the first that's how you get okay. This is what a lot of people don't know. I don't know if you ever heard of the law of attraction or
Yeah.
like the universe. Every time I get up in the morning, I say thank you for having a roof over my head, clothes on my back, food on the table, a car to drive. People think I have this lifestyle where I have like this. People think I'm driving a Benz, or people think I'm rich or I'm getting this or whatnot. First of all, it's just probably all of $35. Everybody know where Alex and I enjoy. It's not even half of what I have on, but I keep myself together. When we're done with when I'm here as a guest on your show, you know what I'm about to do, and I'm gonna do on Instagram because I'm my regular self. But I'm not a panda. Do not pretend to be someone else you're not. The wig is gonna come off. I'm gonna pour some more little spike in my spike coffee. I'm keeping it real. I listen to my music. I'm not. I don't. For example, and also too, keep your stay your 100% true authentic self. You never know who's watching your page, and the reason why I say that is because when Amber Rose's assistant reached out to me, I was like, huh? I had to make sure this is the real thing. I was confused. So
Mm-hmm.
like when you go look at my highlights on my page, you can see Amber Rose. Like I was still confused. I actually made it a throwback Thursday yesterday, and I was just confused. Like, huh? You can see Duce sent me something. That's definitely there's there ain't no grounds I've used living in Coney Island. There's Daniels and I drink. Right. We drink dark. But who else have I worked with? I basically a lot of the people that I've worked with, I've noticed. I've always wanted to ask these people, these companies, how did you find me? But I've never really. I just said I just left it alone. But I want to know, like, how did you find me? I've never. I've been told twice out of my whole, I'll say, entrepreneur career, because that's what I would just consider myself. Just to sum it up, instead of saying, "Oh, I'm this, I'm this, I'm this, I'm this," I would just say a young entrepreneur. Um, I never. I wanted to ask, like, how did they find me? Like, how did Amber Rose? How did they find me? And the whole thing is if you go on her business page, it's called Shop Mother. You know, she called herself MUVA Beauty. Well, she has
Yeah.
a self line. It's like, how'd you guys find me? I was the first person that she gave product to advertise, and then I started seeing it was the other girls like it has the big following. So
Mm-hmm.
once again, just like being out of Detroit working for Playboy, it was like, okay, this person from Detroit, because here in Detroit there's so much talent, but everybody
Yeah.
doesn't want to see each other do good. It's like you always have, like, I can tell people, can you go tag this person, and they read my message and don't do it. Okay, that's fine. I know not to ask you again. Or when you promote your friend's business or whatnot, it's free. A repost, a like, a share. It's free to promote your friend's business. So if this person is trying to come up, or they're trying to say, "Hey, I just started my profile," or "I just started this," or "I have this," do not get discouraged. Do not keep asking that person. If it's a family member, don't keep asking them. Sometimes you shouldn't even have to ask them. If I go on my friend's page, or sometimes I don't see stuff because once again, Instagram, people don't see your stuff all the time. So you go in and you start promoting yourself and say, "Hey, text people, can you do this? Can you share this?" Some people get busy and they forget or whatnot. So just remind them again. But if you got to keep asking them at that point, no, let them go. Keep it
Yeah.
moving. So they always say it's cost $0 to support a friend. And
Mm-hmm.
you should be supporting your friend like it's your business.
Exactly.
So I would just say, listen, always do research. If you know how to do something, don't think you gotta go out and, like, I know people that that's from Detroit, and they said when they started their business, they only had $500. They used their $500 to get their business started, and they are literally successful now, and they have like a hair salon. So I look at people's stuff and listen to their testimonies and everything, and it's a great thing. But it's just like, do not get discouraged. Do not copy off someone else. Do
Yeah.
not keep your page and your layout clean, or figure out how do you want to display yourself to others. That's how influencers stand out. This influencer, okay, they may say, okay, Jackie is silly, she's quirky or whatever. Or some people may think like, oh, I've been compared to Cardi B. To me, that's like whatever. That's one person who, she's got famous, she's never switched up.
Mm-hmm.
And people talk, oh, she's ghetto. No, she's herself.
Yep. She's her. She's Cardi.
Talk down on her, and it's like, right. So that's one thing you can appreciate and respect that about a person. So I would really tell people, like, look, and when you always interact with your audience, don't just get all these followers and you start to get your first collaboration or you get your first check and you think, oh, I did. No, because that's how you're gonna start losing followers and you're not gonna get business.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's gonna want to work with you. And then you have to keep your word, and you have to keep your end up too, because if you don't, it's kind of like with collaborations. Not to steal the beans, but most people know this. It's just like, okay, my post is ready. Sometimes, for example, when I make posts, it's only a few companies that I've worked with. Most of the companies I've worked with, most of the celebrities have worked with. So like Flat Tummy, um, a few other ones. Some of the stuff I have like archive, but you'll see like paid partnership or whatnot. So I
Mm-hmm.
don't know. I don't know how I end up having companies contact me that I know celebrities have worked for, and it's like some people say, "Oh, I'm false advertiser. They don't work." No, because whether I may need the product or not, and I am fit or whatnot, their product do work. I'll give it to one of my friends or someone who say, "Hey, can I use the product or whatever?" Hey, yeah, and it works for them. For
Mm-hmm.
me, I won't false advertise something. I make videos, or I'll go in debt, or some people will come in my DMs or whatnot, and it's something I wake up in the morning like, I didn't even see them. But it's people do research. Don't copy someone else. Stay your authentic self. Remember that you're working for your followers and your consumers and your audience. And me, for example, I was just told just to just test out the product, see how I like it. For the Amber Rose post, I went above and beyond. And when I know a product is coming and what it is, I start thinking of my concepts and how I want to do like a little mini photo shoot on my own. I don't have to go out and do none of these things. These are not asked of me, aside from maybe one company I promote. Literally one company out of all the companies I work for on my page. I was never told to do none of the stuff that you see that's on my page. Create or set it up. Never. So that's me because I'm very creative.
Mm-hmm.
I like being creative and I like doing that. So that's me on my side. Me as an influencer, I'm the okay. This is the creative influencer because I can tell she wasn't asked to do this or whatnot. So it stands out. When I did something for, I believe it was Pure Relief, and that was a paid partnership. I had told them what I was going to do, and I asked them, "Hey, can you guys make this type of promo thing for me to sell? That's a great idea." And I'm like, since I'm doing something for hemp, why not go outside of my garden and take pictures? They said, "Wow, this is great. Would you do that on camera?" I'm like, "It's all on my phone." Sometimes I had to just train my guide mom over the last few months on how to take my pictures when she's available. If I don't have other people take my pictures, there's times where I don't always want to be in my apartment with the same background. I want to be outside at a park, or I want to, do different things, but I don't always have somebody there to take my pictures.
Mm-hmm.
So some people so you got to use what you got to get to where you're trying to go.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. This has been a lovely conversation. I'm glad you came on. How can they find you online? Tell them.
You guys can find me on Instagram at Fashionably Privileged, and that is fashion. So FA. Boys and girls, do not put.
It's gonna be right there. We gotta do it.
So long. Oh my goodness! Listen, it's fashion, ably privileged. So FASHAIONABLAYPRIVILEGED. So fashionably privileged.
Yes.
Our page is public. You'll definitely find me. And like he said, my followers are at first. Actually, I noticed when I posted the Missy Elliott old school song, I noticed that my followers went up like 4,000 followers or whatever. Your followers are going to always go up and down. And one more word of advice: people are going to unfollow you. One more thing too: somebody can be looking at your page religiously every day and never like a picture. You can see your views. Somebody can be viewing your story and never like a picture. So do not get frustrated by that. That's somebody who's watching you and they will never like your picture. We all know this. So when you see your followers go up and down, that's going to happen. But never get frustrated. Keep going. Do not let anybody tell you that, oh, if you have depression or anxiety, there's nothing wrong with you, you'll get over it. There's no such thing. Talk to a friend, get help. If that friend or family member is not taking you seriously, you can send me a message and I'll talk to you. I'll make time to talk to you. So it's serious. Any disabilities or mental illnesses or anything that we have to break the stigma and let people know, don't sweep it up under the rug. It's serious, and everyone stay safe during this pandemic, and let's just get out and vote and do the right thing and help one another. And we need more good people in the world. So
well, thank you. And thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to comment, share, and subscribe. And we will see you next time. Bye.
Passion, romance, sex, sin, pain, and death. Love unexpected. When you think you know your partner, think again.